And we are back with another episode of Bridgeside Sports Live with my usual panel of analysts, host. We do everything here. To my left, Mike Bukowski, also known as Boo, also known as...
Yes? I can't wait to hear this.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw something clever at that. I had nothing.
No, you
Off to a quick start there,
Let's just restart this. Huh?
Followed by Dr. Phil Cagliostro. How we doing, Phil?
I'm doing all right. Thank you, man.
And our good friend Cristiano Ventura, who unfortunately is struggling with the train right now. But we'll get to that in a minute because everybody just loves the MTA.
But we're gonna keep this seat open for him. He's gonna jump in whenever he gets here.
Yeah, he's pretty much a
Do we
white
have
walker.
odds on what he says when he jumps in? Like, what's the first thing what's the first thing that hits in the mic when he walks in?
It's minus 1,000. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy.
It's minus 1,000.
So we're gonna leave it at that.
No, I'm gonna take the underdog of just he's gonna say what. He's gonna start with it's your boy. He's gonna be a little disgruntled, from the MTA fiasco. He's going to forget to say, what's up, people?
I disagree.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. So in regards to our question of the night, we definitely want everybody to comment, like, Facebook, YouTube. We're going to talk NFL preseason. So do you think that the NFL preseason should be shortened? Currently, the Giants are actually playing the Browns on Monday Night Football. And Beckham just went down with a little bit of a knee injury, ran off into the locker room. So that's a big topic that, it's been a hot button issue.
Years now.
For years, yes. So that's our QOTN for the night. Please join in. But we are going to start with this weekend. This weekend, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, Las Vegas. This fight has been promoted more than any fight probably I've ever seen in my lifetime. Granted, it's between a UFC fighter and a boxer, but they're both very good on the mic, and this is what you have. So I'll start with you, Mike. Let's start with this. Do you think Conor McGregor has a shot at beating Floyd Mayweather?
I don't think so. But apparently, there's a lot of people out there that do, which is really what is surprising me about. Oh,
what's up?
I told you.
It's your boy. My mic doesn't work.
You're on, buddy.
Sure works
you're
fine.
on.
What's up? Everything all right?
Yeah,
you made it here
good,
okay?
I took the wrong train, but what can you do?
Oh, so
We took the R
I'm
from
sorry.
the city.
So it's not the MTA's fault in this case.
It's just
No, it's my fault.
idiots who
okay.
take the MTA's fault. Yeah.
Full disclosure, I apologize, MTA. We blasted them as usual. We
blame
thought they
the
screwed it
MTA.
up, but it's our fault. It's actually the analyst's fault. We take it
man.
back.
Catch your breath to that.
But we're happy to have you, man. Again, back to the question.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
So Mayweather's, I think he started when this fight was announced. He was something like minus 1,200, minus 60. It was something huge to win.
It started at minus 9, then it went up to like minus 11 or 12,
And now it's at minus 400.
correct.
Which is amazing to me. And I know there's a lot of people McGregor has a following of people, and by the same token, there's a lot of people who hate Mayweather that also want McGregor to win for that reason. So the line has moved so much more than I ever thought it would, and I mean I don't think he has a chance. I really don't. But the whole big thing here is that we don't know anything because we haven't seen McGregor with boxing gloves on. You know what I mean? We've seen a clip of it that he released. That was it.
Well, Phil, I'll pose you this question, kind of piggybacking off what Mike just said. The new gloves.
Yeah,
right?
I was actually going to, yeah.
They went to 8-ounce gloves instead of the 10. You think that makes a big difference?
Well, in the odds-wise, I think it has to be. So I can't think of any other reason why Mayweather's odds are going down, except that, so many people are betting on McGregor because he has a following. But what happened in the lead-up to the fight that made you think, oh, wow, McGregor might actually win? Why? Because he knocked out Paulie, on the Instagram video. I guess the 8-ounce gloves could... It has to favor McGregor in some way because it's lighter. It's getting closer to the UFC gloves,
which are 4
to,
ounces. The UFC gloves are 4
yeah,
ounces.
But the standard boxing ones are what, 10 ounces
for their weight class.
Yeah, it's 10
ounces.
So if anything, it's getting at least closer to the UFC.
So you think it favors McGregor?
I guess it has to at least help. I'm not sure if it favors McGregor, but actually has to help McGregor. Mayweather's still a better boxer with 8-ounce gloves, but at least favors or helps. It at least helps McGregor have a better chance.
All right, so Chris, I'll pose you this question. Why do you think Mayweather would agree to lightening gloves if it favors McGregor because, like Phil just said and Mike just said, the UFC glove is 4 ounces, right? A standard gloves for them would be 10 ounces. So now they're down to 8. Why would Mayweather agree to that? I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, hasn't boxers at that weight class used 8-ounce gloves before, though?
The weight class below them.
Okay, so
Correct.
boxers below. Okay, Mayweather's a fast guy, a guy who's wants to be quick with his hands. I think that helps Mayweather, to be honest, because he's going to be quicker with his hands because he's got 2-ounce less gloves.
And he's older.
Shouldn't that help him? And he's older now, so he needs that help. Maybe he probably thinks that McGregor. What's the difference with McGregor getting 8-ounce gloves with 10-ounce gloves anyway? I mean, is it really going to make a difference for him? It's going to make a big difference for Mayweather, maybe. Plus, to add on your point about what was the thing that made the odds go into McGregor's favor? The thing wasn't there something where he got knocked out or hit by, was it not Code? Somebody he sparred with that knocked him out or something? I heard some rumor about
Knocked
that.
out who? Say it again.
Mayweather.
Oh.
Sparring.
Knocked out Mayweather sparring with 10-ounce gloves?
Someone knocked out Mayweather.
Forget about the
sparring.
gloves.
Yes.
We're just talking about
Somebody,
that.
I forgot who it was. It was somebody who fought Marlon Haji.
We'll move on regardless. So the whole thing I was trying to say is I don't think that this really favors Mayweather. I'm not really sure why he agreed with it.
I think that's part of the reason why he agreed to it. I mean, he was the one who actually came out and suggested it. And I think part of it is, I mean, we all know Mayweather is this cocky guy. He doesn't want to hear an excuse if he knocks McGregor out. I think he doesn't want to hear anything. And that was one thing that people would say, well, he's not used to usually fighting with 4-ounce gloves. So get McGregor on something that he's more, used to. And
Right.
I really think that it sounds stupid because I do think it goes against him a little bit to fight with the lighter gloves. But I don't think he wants to hear any excuses at the end of this fight. He's that confident in being able to beat McGregor. Without 10-ounce gloves, 8-ounce gloves, he'd probably beat him with 4-ounce gloves.
He should be confident. I agree. And I think no matter what, there's going to be excuses, though.
In terms from Mayweather or McGregor?
Yeah.
Well, of course, you're also talking about a sport where no matter what, whenever the person loses, they say that they won the fight or something.
Unless they get knocked out.
You never hear somebody. No, but even still, you hear people make excuses when they get knocked out. You never hear somebody just own up to losing a boxing match. Very rarely.
Chris, you had something to add?
Yeah, so I found it here. Breaking news: Floyd Mayweather knocked out cold in sparring with Zab Judah. That's who
Zab
Zab
Judah,
Judah.
the great.
That's a name drop. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I
That's
know,
like
and that's
Prince
a guy.
Nassim Hamed.
I
You
think
remember
Marlon
the
Haji
Prince?
beat him too.
I'm sorry. You remember Zab Judah? I don't remember Zab Judah.
Yeah,
remember
he's a
Zab Judah.
long time ago.
I don't remember
Probably
Zab
about 5-6 years ago, maybe more.
Longer than that, yeah.
Yeah?
I remember seeing Rockman.
Seam Rock. Nope, not Randy.
He
Bells.
knocked out Lennox Lewis.
Listen.
Remember? He knocked out Lennox Lewis.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that guy. Yeah. That's when actually boxing had a decent heavyweight
Yeah.
class. But let me pose you this question. I think there is a 0 chance that Mayweather loses. I don't.
Okay, so
I don't think.
so again, this goes
Wait,
to those
hold on, let me
negatives.
finish.
This goes to those negatives.
No, hold
First of
on.
all-
He started out by saying, I have a question, and then he just made a statement. There was
Can
no
we also
question
go back
at
to
all.
the percentages again? So you think there's 100%
Don't
chance
ask me
Mayweather
questions.
wins?
I'm
Right,
asking the
right,
questions.
that is-
Don't
He's
ask
asking
me
the
questions.
questions.
He did that,
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but you're not asking questions.
You're cutting me
saying
off.
that
Let me
you-
finish the
Right.
question, and I'll get to it. Unbelievable. Now I lost my train of thought.
Today.
Where are we going here? Well, I lost my
I
train.
wish
What
I
was
know.
my question? Oh, 0% chance Mayweather loses. 100% chance that he wins. That better?
Yes.
So, do you think that this fight can be fixed? My personal opinion, boxing is a very fixable sport. Mayweather is in trouble with money, tax-wise. Granted, he's 49-0, but if Mayweather loses and there is a rematch, they'll make double or triple the money they're going to make now. So, Chris, is there any chance this fight is fixed?
Yeah, there's definitely a chance. Like you said, boxing's probably the easiest sport to fix. I mean, you got 2 people, and you got the refs, the judges, everybody involved. They're the ones making the decision, especially if it goes to decision. So, I mean, there could also be a disqualification. Like Boo said a while back, he might kick him in the face, Mayweather. I mean, you don't know what could happen. Honestly, I think
That's
it
a
could go
tremendous
a lot
thing.
of different ways.
If he does kick him, there's a tremendous lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's in his
Huge
contract.
So maybe he won't. But
Mayweather will own him. Right? He'll literally own him. Be like, no, you'll have no money. He'll take him to the cleaners.
Yeah.
See Mayweather with.
I hope it's a good
see
fight.
Mayweather with the
That's
neck collar on, coming in like press conferences.
D,
cracked.
We got Big D here. Let's not forget about Big D.
I was just going to ask if you guys thought about the difference in the time between the UFC format and the boxing format. So you have 12 3-minute rounds in boxing and 5 5-minute rounds in UFC.
You sound like the rabbi from Seinfeld. Laney.
You sound like a kindergarten teacher. Why are you talking so slow?
What do we? What do you guys think?
So
Take it
what do you think the difference there is between Mayweather and McGregor? That's going to tire McGregor out faster than it would Mayweather.
McGregor cannot win this fight.
Yeah.
It's like a softball player playing baseball.
The odds are so against
They're
him.
completely different sports. I don't even understand how we're having this. I don't even know how this is a fight.
Yeah,
You have two guys who compete in different formats. It's not even a boxer versus a boxer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
is
agree with
anybody
you.
else mind blown that?
I agree with you.
Sure. Well, I mean, listen.
A wrestler has a better chance coming
It's a
to UFC.
spectacle. It's not. It's barely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a boxing match, but it's more of a spectacle than anything.
I
The
think
antics.
You know what it is? I think people hate Mayweather, and I think people hate McGregor. I think there's
So either way, it's a win-win.
Right. So everybody are just rooting against him. You know what I mean? There's really like, oh, I like this guy. No, I just dislike this guy more.
You know, I think just to speak about what you were saying about, do you think it's possible to fix this? And absolutely, boxing, and there have been fights that have been fixed. But I think the reason why I don't think with this one it's going to happen is because if Mayweather were to lose, it actually is such a stain on boxing.
Yeah.
Too big of a stain that that is the reason enough for this.
So you
fight
think it
not
will
to
be
be
fixed?
No, I think it won't be
Oh,
because
okay.
it would just be too crushing to the sport of boxing,
That's
and
a
it would
good point.
rise MMA.
Yep.
MMA would definitely get
So-
a boost from
well,
it.
why can't it-
You're basically saying they'll have
already
more.
are getting a boost from
They'll
this.
have more validity as a sport. MMA, people like say, "Oh, it's not." So you're saying if a MMA fighter was to beat arguably the best pound for pound boxer of all time, it's a real shot in the arm for MMA.
Well, what
And
if it's fixed in Mayweather's favor?
Why does it have to be fixed in Mayweather's favor?
I'm just saying. He's saying
But
I don't
he's
think it's fixed because of McGregor, but
Yeah.
they could fix it Mayweather's favor as well.
But
I mean,
Mayweather
that could be
should win, though.
right? But they could still fix it to Mayweather's favor. That still can happen, even if Mayweather should
Yeah,
win.
It could happen, but that.
I mean, why wouldn't that happen?
Usually, a fix comes the underdog winning.
I know, but
Right?
the way he said it is, if McGregor wins, he's right. It puts a stain on boxing. It
Yeah.
could ruin boxing. So why not fix it in Mayweather's favor?
what if Mayweather
to
just
keep
takes
boxing?
a dive, though? What if Mayweather just takes a dive?
I mean,
Does it on his own?
I'm not going to even probably watch the match.
That's
to be
my
honest with you.
that's my whole thing. If
can't.
Mayweather goes down
I-
and he loses, the second fight becomes tremendous. Oh my God, Mayweather just lost to a UFC fighter. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much money it'll make?
But the stain on
Oh.
boxing it's going to hurt so bad that it actually is going to have long-lasting effects on the sport of boxing.
His name
if
is
Mayweather
Floyd
loses.
Money Mayweather.
What does that have to do
He
with
wants to
anything?
make
He's undefeated.
money.
I understand. He's making money no matter what.
He'll
man.
make more if he loses and then has a second fight.
Oh,
Just saying.
But he's going to lose a lot of his clout.
Prestige. I get it.
Absolutely.
I get it 100%. But you never know. You never know. And with that, I will move us on to our next topic. Another big weekend. Yankees, Red Sox. Yankees lost 2 out of 3.
Again.
Some very bad losses again. Phil, do the Yankees have a shot at winning this division now being 5 out?
I mean, it's tough. Now you're out of what a series can do. You know, like if you were 3 back, you could realistically sweep the Red Sox and jump into the tie for first.
Right.
But now you always need help. It's slipping away, and you know what? Especially what's slipping away is their bullpen, man. On Friday, man, they blew that game. That's the game they win. Obviously, you win 2 out of 3. You leave. You're happy,
You're 3 back.
and you got the Sabathia outpitch Sale. Like
Yep.
I know, but that's crazy. You got that game. Friday was a brutal loss, man. You came back. You were losing. You came back, and then Chapman and Green just didn't have it. He usually goes 1 inning, maybe the second inning. But to answer your question, I think the division's slipping away from them.
So let's talk about Chapman for a second. Mike, Girardi said he's not his quote-unquote closer anymore. I think we've been talking about this for a while. Do you think that's the right move?
I think it's definitely the right move. I mean, you saw him yesterday in the 6th inning. They said it was the first time. It was the earliest he's pitched in a game since 2011, I think, like his first year or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to be honest, with all the options they have in the pen, even though they didn't look good over the weekend versus Boston, there's too many options to stick with Chapman. And I know the guy throws 103, and there's just so much, there's so much promise there. He can just completely dominate an inning and make the other team look ridiculous. But it just hasn't been that way for over a month now, since the All-Star break.
He's been struggling, yeah, without a doubt.
He can't locate his pitches. and the amazing thing, he's getting hit harder than he ever has in his career. You know what I mean?
I think he's falling behind in counts a lot.
That's the biggest thing. His velocity's still there.
First of all, he's sweating so much. Have you ever seen somebody sweat so much?
He's always wearing long sleeves.
Why is he sweat so much? He's
nervous.
He's from Cuba.
He's going to lose his
down there.
job.
I don't understand. It's the Bronx.
He already lost his job.
I think it was the right move.
He just always looks like, and it goes with the sweating thing. He just always looks like he's uncomfortable out there. Like nothing is coming easy for him. And I guess when you throw 103, you're putting a lot into every pitch. But he just looks like he's struggling. He's not right.
So, with that being said, Chris, I mean, do you think that Robertson should close? Do you think that Canely should close? Like, what do you think? I mean, they have a plethora of options. Betances, who do you think is fit for the closer role? If they're going to have a quote-unquote designated closer, which I think baseball's kind of moving away from that. Mm-hmm. But assuming they go back, Girardi names a closer, which he said he has right now. Yeah. Who do you think it should be in the immediate?
That's a tough question. Right now, who I think it should be, honestly, I'd go by committee at this point. I mean, I would say Canely would be your best option now because he's the best one right now.
He came in
Robertson.
He came in Friday.
Robertson? No,
I go Robertson. If you had to pick one, I like the committee. Betances didn't show much last year.
Betances can't close. He's a head case.
Exactly.
They run all over him.
Robertson has closed. I'd have Robertson as your closer. Use Betances around. Use Chapman around. Use Caney. I think that's the way to go.
I agree.
You can set Robertson on closing. You can throw Chapman as a lefty specialist to cool him off a little bit.
Committee.
I couldn't agree more. Chapman in a big spot against a big left-handed hitter is a guy you want. He's more valuable there, the way Francona used Miller and stuff like that, than he is as your closer. Robertson's closed before. He's done it in New York. I love Robertson personally. I'm glad they got him back.
He was filthy on the Yankees.
He actually doesn't throw as hard as the other guys, but he doesn't walk guys. He works. Like, he's smart. I think he's their best closer. And then you have Betances, Conley, Warren, Chapman. You bring Chapman in a big spot against any type of lefty, that's who you want.
And then he can face the righty after.
Of course.
Yeah.
Move him around. Agree? No? I mean,
I completely agree.
I think it has to be Robinson now. I don't think Dellin is ever a closer in this
Terrible.
league because the bottom line is what I see about Dellin is, he could dominate an inning, but he's also a guy that should be pulled immediately if he can't find the strike zone in the first 6 pitches.
Chapman
and
too.
You can't have him. Yeah, you can't have a guy like that as your closer because then there's nobody else to go to, assuming that you use all your other good relievers to get to Betances in the ninth. So he's not a ninth inning option. And Canley, he hasn't closed as much. Robinson has the track record of closing.
That's in New York. That means a lot.
Now, I have a question for you guys, though. I'm going to be a little host here for a second.
Go for it, baby.
If Chapman, Chapman, if he fixes himself, go back to the closing role at the end of the year? Is that still what they want out of him? Or is it time to move away from that, use him more as like a specialist?
I think specifically that Chapman should not be used as their closer. He has great stuff, even when he gets back on track. Let him do what he's capable of doing in bigger spots. He's your best reliever. He has the best stuff. Mm-hmm. He's lefty. Let him do it when you need him the most, when a big lefty's up. Use him situationally. Let Robertson close. Let the chips fall in. Leave Warren as your long man. That's my opinion. But they're not going to go anywhere unless he gets back on track. They can't go anywhere without him.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I think they got to play it by ear and just see what develops. See if Chapman in the 7th inning or something, how he performs. See if he could get it back. Get everything back. K-ing people, getting the outs, having 1, 2, 3 innings. We need to see that first. Let Robertson close in the meantime. See what he does. Like you said, that's fine. And then you still got a little time before the playoffs come. So maybe Chapman figures it out in September at some point. And maybe you put him back in the role if Robertson's being shaky. If Robertson's lights out and he's, performing well and gets 10 out of 10 saves, 12 out of 12 saves, you got to keep him in.
But that's the thing.
I mean?
Robinson's never shown that he can't do that. So if
he has,
put him in there, there's a good chance.
I mean, hasn't he done bad before in the past with the White Sox as a closer?
He's had a very good career.
No, he's had a good career. Yeah,
closer.
I agree. Even if Chapman gets back on track, I'd let him be Miller. I'd let him be what Miller is for the Indians. I'd throw him in. Because honestly, also you look at the Yankees starting pitching is a little shaky. Sonny Gray hasn't been as good as you wanted. Sabathia really only goes 6 innings tops anyway. If one of those guys gets in trouble in the 5th inning in a big spot in the playoffs, if you're in the playoffs, why not bring Chapman in? You have so many guys to go after Chapman. If you're in this huge spot of Chapman with guys on base, why not bring Chapman in?
I agree. I mean, Their pitching, their starting pitching actually has been pretty good. Montgomery, they should not take out of the rotation.
Montgomery's been great.
Right? I
What
it's
about Gray? He hasn't shown me anything
Gray,
since he came over, man.
Gray works
I
very,
know,
very
it's-
slow. I didn't realize he worked
Yeah,
so
so
slow.
slow.
And not only does he work slow,
Throws a lot of pitches.
throws a million
Yeah,
pitches.
that's why I'm not.
His stuff is fantastic. He has
I
good
know,
stuff.
just-
Like he's got, but
I'm a little
he's not
disappointed.
getting very deep. He's
A
not
little
getting very
disappointed,
deep.
that's
It's only
all.
been what
Yeah.
4 starts.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
You know,
I
Donnie.
mean, he's
yeah.
gone against Kluber, DeGrom, and Porcello, who always pitches well against the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's 3 good matchups against him. It's not going to help out his stats so far.
Yeah, but the Mets lineup is garbage. It's AAA status.
He
On the
I mean,
game,
he
though.
dominated
Thank
them.
you. Agreed.
He dominated the Mets. I mean, there was really no problem with that. I'm not even going to bring up the whole Met-Yankee series because it was what it was. Sorry, Donnie.
Bend the knee, Mets.
But
Oh,
yeah,
it was
bend the
awful,
knee.
Yeah. How
Bend,
could I
bend the
argue
knee.
that?
And that's a little thrown segue for later
Can we
on.
just can we go to the Donnie camera for a second? So Donnie has he has a headpiece with a mouth where he talks into, but he's also talking into a microphone.
Yeah.
You're not really supposed to go to the technical aspect of that. Like this,
I'm
but
confused.
okay.
Well,
Why are you double mic'd up?
because
This one's for the control room.
Gotcha. All right.
as our producer,
Move along, asshole.
I was just trying to
No doubt.
get a grasp.
let's keep it kid friendly, Donnie. We'll try to stay PG here.
Can we talk about
Sorry.
Judge
It's
a
all
little
right.
bit?
It's all right. Yes, I was going to move on to the Yankees actually hitting. So Judge had a great first half, struggling obviously the second half. Does he get back on track, Boo? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, he still walks a ton, and I mean, the big question now is that they're talking about, should
Should he be batting third?
Should he be batting
Yeah.
third anymore? And to me, I think absolutely. I don't think there's any reason to take him out of there because he's still drawing walks. Yeah, he's striking out. He's got this ridiculous streak now. What is it, 37 straight games?
Yeah.
It's actually silly. And you expect this guy to be a 300 hitter? It's not
Over
possible.
pitchers.
He can't hit 300.
He broke a pitcher's record.
Yeah. Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
It was the pitcher that had the record.
So, I mean, yeah, he's striking out a ton, but he's still drawing walks. He's got, I think, like 7 homers since the break, which is, it's still not horrible.
No, it's good. It's good, but he's missing pitches again by this much. You throw him a slider low and away, he doesn't know what to do with it.
He's definitely
You
pressing, but I really think it's only a matter of time, and he's sticking with him. If you move him down in the lineup, who do you move up? But
Sanchez.
I think Sanchez is their best hitter.
Would you
Yeah.
would you give
Right
Judge
now,
a day
for
or
sure.
would you give Judge a day or 2 off?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really going to do much in terms of it. I mean, yeah, he might be a little tired, but I mean,
I think
No,
he'll
just to
probably-
clear his head. That's what I meant.
He'll probably get a day off in this Tigers series. They didn't want to bench him against the Red Sox.
no,
Yeah,
of
no, I know.
course.
But
By the way, Sanchez. Did you see Sanchez's? It's a really quick a stat compared to catchers in August and his 2 Augusts. Catchers in
it's silly.
August are like hit 250, and Sanchez hits like 360 in August. The dog days come around. His on base percentage is through the roof.
He gets better.
Sanchez is on fire right now. He looks unbelievable.
because of J-Lo, and he had
And A-Rod had a
Yeah.
nice conversation with them.
Conversation.
I guess that I mean,
Really sparked him.
Yeah.
must have had some hitting tips from A-Rod. I mean,
Yeah, that's what it was.
you don't think so?
I'm kidding.
A-Rod's a fantastic
I
hitter.
know, yeah.
Not better than Jeter, but
Well,
I don't want to go
It
into
really
that
did.
Don't go
conversation
into
again.
that.
I don't
Don't
want
go
to
into
stir it
that.
up.
And obviously, look, whatever it did, he went to a dinner with A-Rod and J-Lo, and he's been on fire since. So
No, yeah.
whether it was J-Lo or A-Rod, whoever it may be.
But I didn't realize how bad he is defensively.
He's horrible. Sanchez?
At blocking
He has,
balls.
He's
he has
lazy. He's
he
just
has
lazy.
a bazooka, but he's a very, very lazy player.
Bad.
he don't
lets-
try to block it the right way.
It's really starting to
He
look
could.
like he's not meant for a catcher long term. The way he
Probably not.
No, he is because he has a seed behind him.
but
But
Yeah,
that's
but you
all.
could have a seat at, he can play another position.
Where's he going to play? First?
Third?
Third? He's not exactly.
The Mets put Travis Darno at third the other day.
The Mets were shifting
Never played third
him.
in his life.
Did you see
High
that?
school was the last time Darno played.
Did you see what they did?
They kept shifting with
Yeah, Tim
dribble.
Cabrera.
I
Left,
know.
it was like B League softball. All right, a lefty's up. Now you go play third. A righty's up. Go play second.
Everybody goes all the way to the line.
Only the Mets can do that. I mean, I guess it actually worked out because Cabrera made some sick diving plays playing third. That
He's
don't
a
know.
good defensive player, though.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
don't know. He hasn't taken a ground ball in years. Unless maybe they're
And Darno's bad as a catcher defensively.
Terrible
so.
throwing behind the plate.
I agree with you. Sanchez has a rocket, but everything else is bad.
Most
behind.
great hitting catchers long term end up moving positions because they don't want them to burn out early.
But it doesn't make sense. You need the point of having a good hitting catcher is
Yeah.
keeping him there because
Right.
you get such good production out of that spot.
That
Look
makes
at
sense.
Mauer. Mauer's the worst. The prototypical, wow, he's a great hitter. We can't make him catch. Now he's an average first baseman, if not a little below average because he has no power.
He stinks, yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well, I mean, he caught for a lot of years and he got
He
burnt
didn't catch
out.
that many years. What did he catch? 7 years?
Maybe more. I don't know. I have
Donnie,
to
can
look
you
at that.
pull that up? Like how many games he actually started behind the plate?
And he was never a power hitter, except for that one he hit 28 homers or something.
All right, but
never a
even
power
still,
hitter.
Well,
So.
he should never be at first.
If you're hitting 310, 320 as a catcher, and you're hitting your 10, 12 homers, that's excellent production. You're getting 300 hitter out of
No,
catcher,
I agree.
even without the power. But you can't have a first baseman hitting 10 home runs.
When you have a
I'm sorry.
catcher like Posey, yes. Posey's unbelievable. When you're really good defensively and you can hit and you could deal with the rigors of the whole season, that's a hard combo to get, though.
Yeah.
It's hard to find the catcher.
I mean, it
like
gets
that.
to a point that it's like, if he's going to lose a game for them. The way
Oh,
he's
without a
feel-
doubt. He cost them 2 outs the other night in Saturday's
many
game.
is?
And it's becoming a problem.
And he costs me a lot of time because he runs out to the mound
Oh my
800 times a
God,
game.
Yeah.
10 seasons as a catcher.
Yes.
920 games.
He probably split time though. So,
920 games as a catcher. And how many does he have total?
1404.
Okay, so about 2/3 of his games were catching.
Yeah. Got burnt out.
900 games as a catcher. That's 6 seasons.
Well,
That's not a lot.
catchers don't play a lot of games in general.
Okay, that's still 6
Burnt out.
seasons.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
What about Yadier Molina? How many games do you think he's caught?
Yeah, but he's not like unbelievable hitter like
Yeah,
Mauer
I
or
know.
Posey
I know.
was in their prime.
Last thing I'll say in the Yankees,
point.
Didi Gregorius is becoming my favorite Yankee.
Oh, yeah, he is awesome. His hack is
He's
sick.
not very smart. He does some dumb things, but like he hits. He's got a cannon. He has range, and I just like him. He's like a nice
Also,
guy.
and he hits a lefties.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mashes lefties.
That was the thing
Mashes
that they
lefties.
said
Great
was bad
defensively.
about him. Another great trade by Cashman, but
All right, so moving on to Are You Kidding Me segment, and we're actually not going to move too far here. Are You Kidding Me this week is coming from me, and strangely enough, it involves the Yankees and it involves Gary Sanchez. So, my Are You Kidding Me for the week, and nobody knows this right now. We did not speak about this before the show. The only people who know are our producer and director in the studio, so these three guys don't know. Gary Sanchez will break the record for home runs by a catcher all time.
You're talking about in a season or in a...
Total for his career.
And what's the record right now?
yeah, that's what I need to
Don,
know.
pull that up.
Donnie, pull it up. I believe it's 396 by Piazza.
So that's the home. He has to catch that game for the home run. I'm
Yes,
assuming,
I will. I will say this here. Let me. He needs to continue to catch. Obviously, I'll put this little asterisk. He has to continue to catch, and he has to stay healthy.
Well, obviously, he has to continue to catch.
If those two things,
That's why I asked you
No,
that.
no. I'm not saying if he hits 400 home runs and he stops catching. That's not what I'm saying.
I know,
I'm
that's what I'm saying. He
at
has
the
to
catching
yeah, that's why I
position.
asked you, yeah.
So I'm saying he has to stay healthy. Obviously, if he stays healthy, I think he breaks the record.
Yeah.
396.
So you're not saying
Piazza.
his career. You're saying
No,
as
total.
a catcher when he's catch
Yeah,
all those seasons.
Because Piazza has more than
Ooh,
396
that's
home
tough.
runs.
No, I don't think he does.
Piazza has 396 home runs for his career.
I think he has a couple more than that because there are games like he might have DH'd or pinched.
Right.
That's why
know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
We got the list up here. It says
Players
games while
Catching.
Games while catching.
catching.
Yeah.
Right. Catches with Piazza has
Piazza's
396.
Fisk.
Fisk has 350,
Don, what do you-
351. Bench 326. Barrett 305. Lance Parrish 299.
Lance Parrish.
So, I mean, when you look at that list, 396 homers. So far,
That's
he's
a lot.
played
Don't say it's not a lot.
No, hold on.
Okay.
He's played 140 games roughly in his career. 145 maybe. He's got like 42 homers.
Okay.
I mean, he's played really one full season, and he's hit 42 homers.
Yeah, but this is such a short span.
All right, it's an Are You
For a
Kidding Me,
career,
right?
yeah.
Right
no,
now,
I know.
Right now, he's too bad of a catcher to think. And I'll give you this: Piazza was not that good of a catcher either.
Piazza
But he was in the National
horrendous.
Exactly. Thank you.
What does
Chris.
that mean,
National
his
League
National
because he
League?
couldn't
You could-
DH and he couldn't do anything else.
There we
No,
go. That's it.
I get that, but he
That's
still
what it means.
wasn't
But
a
that's
good-
what it means. That's what it means.
He
They
still
couldn't
wasn't
put
a
him
good
anywhere.
catcher.
An AL catcher in the AL, assuming that he's going to play most of his career with the Yankees, he's going to get so many more starts at a different position, even if he never gets changed.
Right.
He's going to get so many starts, just days off. Stuff that
DH.
so many of his home runs are going to be at other positions, whether it be DH or if he eventually gets moved to first base. It's going to be a lot harder for an American League catcher to break that than a National League catcher.
And if he's this bad, eventually they'll start thinking about moving him more to DH. He'll get more games. The worse he continues to play at catching, the more games he'll have at DH. Maybe they won't necessarily move him off catching, but he'll catch less games.
Right, but you guys are saying he's bad. I I don't necessarily think he's bad behind the plate.
He can improve, is what you're
He
saying.
could definitely improve.
Because he's got a cannon.
He's got a cannon.
That's the
no one's
hard
taking
part.
away. No
That's
one's
the
taking away
hard part.
he's got a cannon.
That's the hard part.
When it
he threw someone out on, I think it was Sunday or whatever it was.
After he got on base because he
Exactly. Yeah, the strikeout.
Well,
It was
like-
Saturday.
He has a great arm.
Yeah.
Like his pop time's like a 1.8. Like it's silly. He's excellent.
He's got to
But
work harder.
anyway, blocking balls is something you can just work on over the offseason.
Yeah.
It's not that, it's not mind-blowing. He does stupid things, like he'll come up too soon or he won't slide his feet. Like baby stuff that he should know as a major league catcher. And Girardi, who's an excellent defensive catcher,
Right.
must be flipping out watching him.
Yeah.
So I really don't think this is something that's going to continue. I think it'll get fixed, if not this year, next year. And I think he's going to be excellent behind the plate because he's got good hands. He's soft. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He's too valuable behind the plate.
What do you mean he has? How do you know he has good hands?
You can see the way he receives the ball. Like you can see the way he
His
catches.
framing?
His framing. He's soft. He's not like there are some guys who catch and they're like this and they just stay. He's got soft hands. You know who's very good?
He receives the ball, you're saying.
Yeah, Lucroy. Lucroy is.
You're saying he receives the ball.
Yes, there's certain
Like
guys.
he brings it to the strike
yes,
zone.
there's certain
Yeah.
guys who fight pitches. When you see a catcher do this, that's no good. When you see a guy catch a ball like this
And it's smooth.
and just turn his glove
little
and
bit,
catches
yeah.
it on his thumb to catch a pitch this way or catch a pitch this way, he's very good. He has soft hands behind the plate. It's not a question of, go ahead, Don. I'm
Now,
sorry.
how is he known to call a game at this point?
Calling a game, I couldn't tell you. I mean, a lot of that stuff comes from the dugout. It comes from your scouting reports. I mean, Pena, he's a guy who calls the game. Girardi even sometimes calls the game.
I was going to say, when Girardi, you say he's an excellent defensive
Sometimes,
catcher.
yeah, but sometimes as a manager, you got so much going on. I don't think they like to call games. Sosha still calls games.
Does he really?
Mike Sosha, as a former catcher, he still calls a lot of the games. But Girardi, I don't once in a while. But I think when things do get called, it's usually Pena from the dugout.
But 396 homers. So he's got to hit 397 to 400. I mean, that's tough. To catch that entire time is tough. In his career, I think it's possible.
So in his career, you think it's possible to hit 400. He's got 40 already.
Right.
Right.
Of course, I mean, he's got the power to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He reminds me a lot of Ramirez when he hits Manny. He has that same kind of swing.
Yeah, his swing, there's something about it that I can't describe. It's just like a little, I don't want to say it's weird, but obviously it gets the job done. It's kind of like, it's like when he swings, and after he swings, his body looks a little bit out of control, like he's falling over. But I don't know.
His big bottom hand, like if
maybe
you
that's
want-
what it is,
His bottom hand pulls through the zone, great, and that's why he gets such lift on his ball sometimes.
Right.
And a lot of times when he gets out in front of a changeup and stuff, his hands stay back nice.
Yeah.
So he hit one out the other day.
Over the
Against the
monster.
Mets.
Yes. Over the monster, he hit one out, and it was a hang change, and he just launched it a blast.
Yeah, he's weird. He's got one of those swings that when he connects with the ball and it ends up 450 feet, when it comes off the bat, you're really not sure if it's going out
Because it looks like it's going straight up.
Where
It looks so easy.
and you're like, wow.
Because everybody is worried about launch angle these days. So everybody wants to hit homers. There's the most homers ever and this and that. So some guys
On speed.
are really working on their launch angle, and that's about it. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're working on getting the ball in the air so they can hit homers.
I am
lot of
so
people doing
sick of hearing about launch angle.
But that's what everybody's doing. I'm sick of it too.
God,
But
it's such
Because
the
everybody's
launch
batting
angle is
230,
27 degrees, and it's so annoying.
I know, but that's what they're doing. That's what they want.
I mean, listen, you have all this information that's available now. Why wouldn't you use it? You would be using it if it was the.
You could hit homers?
No, I'm not saying that it's not effective. I guess, but it's such.
It's only going to get bigger. All these stats are going to get bigger.
I know
and
all the
bigger every year.
sabermetrics, and they're trying to make it like so difficult. I mean, but I will say in terms of technology and Zobrist, Ben Zobrist the other day, they lost the game. It was like he got called out in strike 3 in the ninth inning. Was saying that there should be no umps behind the plate, like it should be technology. And I'm pretty much like a baseball kind of purist. Like I think not many things should be changed, but.
Don't tell me you think that.
I
should be
honestly
changed.
think that if you have the technology,
But
why
I
not
wanna know,
use it?
like-
Are you kidding?
Like
me?
how exactly?
Are you kidding me?
That's an are you kidding me? From you especially.
I know. You want to know how I would do it?
But yeah, this is what
How I
whenever
roll it
somebody
out?
talks about that, I always like picture like an actual robot behind.
Yeah.
No.
It's very expensive to get an actual roll.
All right.
It's going to be expensive no matter what.
No.
I don't really know.
You see these umpires. You see the strike zone in the game that they say, oh, that was a ball, that was a strike. That's a specific strike zone, computer generated, whatever. That's what umpires get graded on. That's their sabermetric, how good they do. So every pitch gets got. Those strike zones are exactly accurate, right? I'm not saying there's nobody behind the plate. The umpire is still there. The pitch gets thrown, and in the center field scoreboard, there's either red or green. Right?
And he calls it?
No. He waits to see. Strike, pops right up. Red, he puts his hand up. Strike one.
So what's the point of him being there?
Yeah.
Because there's still foul
tips.
tips. There's still plays at the plate. You still need a home
Check
plate
swings,
umpire.
things
That's
like
true.
that.
Things
You need a
like
home
that.
plate, yeah.
I'm not saying take him out completely. Fair and foul, balls down the line. You still need a home plate umpire. But for balls and strikes, I know how frustrating is it when you're up and you get caught banged out in a strike three and you know it's not a strike.
Yeah, I know, but that's part of the human element.
Game. I get that. But so is a bad call down the line.
But it's like, when does this end? Because then if you do that in baseball, right, why don't you just do it in football? When you instead of having instant replay, just have somebody upstairs and they can call every play. Oh, it was a catch. He was in bounds.
That's what
and then
college
it gets,
football
and then it gets sent to the referees and they make the call on the field. Like, where's the end point? Then there's no.
That's what college football does.
Well,
There's no end to it.
I hear you. But if you have the technology and the point is to get the game right, why not allow? I know we're straying off top, but why not let it happen?
Well, it
Donnie,
should be
go ahead.
subjective regardless.
Yes.
So, I mean, different pitchers get different strike zones.
Exactly.
I mean, Zach Greinke
Why?
is one of the biggest
That's
guys
part of
in
the game.
No,
That's
I
not part of the
I
game.
actually completely.
A strike zone is a strike
it's
zone.
subjective.
That's where I disagree. Why should a pitcher have a different strike zone than the next pitcher? That
Not
makes
the-
no
not the
sense.
pitcher,
No, it's
but the hitters.
It's a sort of consistency. It's not just exactly.
No,
the strike
Donnie
zone.
said the pitcher.
Because every batter is a different height.
Yes.
also.
No,
That's
but
what
the
that's
strike
the
zone
thing.
changes.
The strike zone would
Yeah.
change.
That strike zone you see is according to
Why
their
should
height.
they always say different?
It doesn't stay the same.
I know,
And they
but
always say different.
I don't
umps-
believe that's how that.
No, it
that
is how it
graphic works on
works.
Fox when you watch it.
Donnie, it is how it works. That's the whole point. Years ago, when it was like 1998 and you saw, it's a little box. No. Now it's so detailed. The cameras they have, these umpires are graded whether or not they're good on every pitch that they call. That's a strike. It's not the same box.
But strikes and balls aren't as clear cut as
they should
fair
be.
and foul.
But now
It's
they
not.
are. That's what I'm saying. Now they
Because
are.
it's a little bit subjective. One umpire might think on this corner of the black is a ball, and a different umpire might think that's a strike.
All
But
right,
on the
that's
inside,
fundamentally they don't
different.
know why they're different rules.
No, but-
a strike should be a strike. That's it.
Umpires have different ways of their calling their
I
game.
agree, and that's why I don't like it.
I mean, I
They
think that's
shouldn't.
part of baseball.
You should have
It is-
stayed a purist. Sorry.
It
A
is part of
strike-
baseball, and that's something though. Call me crazy, and
It's probably
I know
more
I'm probably going
strange.
to take a lot of
No.
heat for this, but
no,
it's just my opinion.
I agree with you. The same pitch, the same exact pitch should not be called a ball by one umpire and a strike by the other, unless the umpire says, wow, I made a mistake. If one umpire thinks that's a strike and the other umpire thinks that's a ball, that's a fundamental problem.
What does the computer say when it's
Hey,
right on the
kids,
black?
I'm
What does they say?
computer.
Strike or
I don't know.
ball?
I don't know.
First of all, the black
that is
is
the question.
the
the
innovator.
black
That's
isn't
the
a
question.
strike. The black is a ball.
Okay,
There
so
you
then
go.
it's
So
a
the
ball
black's
if
the
it's
ball.
right. If the ball's halfway in the black, halfway in outside the black, what is it?
If the ball touches any part of the white, it's a strike as it passes the batter.
So then it can be on the black and have a little bit of the white, and it's a strike. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
So then the strike zone's huge.
No, it's not.
Huge.
It's the same thing it is now.
Because humans will call a ball when it touches the black sometimes. They make that mistake, and it helps the pitchers sometimes.
but it hurts the batters. I'm just saying it should be
Yeah, but
a
now it's
level
gonna
field.
always help the batters. And
Why?
Because if the
When it
computer
makes a
knows
smaller
exactly
strike
where
zone,
it
he's
is,
right.
it's always going to be a ball.
Chris.
Always going to be a strike when it hits the black.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
You're telling me an umpire has never called a pitch a ball that was a strike?
No, of course he has.
So
But
then
I'm
how
saying
does it always help the
The
pitcher?
computer will say, I keep saying the computer will say if it touches the black, it's a strike every time, no matter what.
It's consistent, yes.
Whereas the umpire will, different umpires will
why
call
is-
different
That's what I'm
calls.
trying to get away
But
from.
that's fine, though. That's how it should
Oh,
be.
I don't like it.
See, you guys
Because
are
that's different
hold on.
umpires.
You guys are disagreeing on
It
a
helps the pitchers and the hitters.
You guys
It
are
helps both.
disagreeing on a fundamental basis. You obviously think there should be some kind of room for error, and you think there shouldn't be. That's the complete reason why you guys are disagreeing.
Yeah.
Right, I agree.
Chris doesn't think it's a room
That
for
will
error.
definitely
Chris,
tighten his strike.
Chris thinks there should be a room for subjective opinion, which is where I disagree with him.
I think a rule should be a rule.
No,
Should be a
honest.
rule.
I agree with Win. I'm on Win's side here.
Listen, in terms of it's 2017, you're going to see cars that drive themselves. You're going to see. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
like,
already
It's
happened.
a couple of years.
I-
away
I
from
know.
seeing.
I agree with that. I think people shouldn't drive cars. There'd be less accidents.
Listen, get
All
off,
right, over here.
get off your
Mr.
soapbox.
Technology.
All right, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see Amazon's gonna have stores without cashiers. It's only a matter of time. It really is.
It is.
It is gonna happen.
So this is going to happen, yeah.
I think, without a doubt, within the next
You'll
10
have the
years, you're gonna
robot.
see something like that.
No, there won't be any. there won't
Mr.
be
Director
any-
Paul, save this footage for like 10 years from now and you can go back and say I was right. Moving on. Moving on.
I'll be in my car that's driving itself, and you can show me the clip.
You'd be reading a newspaper. We don't even have
Sick.
newspapers anymore.
No.
It's gonna be like the entire world is gonna be like the movie Wall-E. That's what it's going to be.
No. Oh, what? Everybody's in like little chairs.
It's going to be
and
overweight.
everybody's
little
overweight.
chairs.
Well,
Yeah.
And they scoot around.
let's go from
in space.
In space, yes.
let's go from a Disney
Donnie
movie
in space.
to an HBO show.
An HBO show.
Game of Thrones last night. Unbelievable episode. Probably top 3, in my opinion, of the whole series. It seemed like it never ended. It just continued to go on. Chris, what was your big takeaway from last night in Thrones? Like, what was the thing that you said, wow, that's unbelievable?
But here's the thing with the episode. It was
Wait,
one of the-
I just asked you a question. I just completely asked you.
What was the
Just
question? What was the question?
He wasn't very
moving on. Moving
No,
on.
tell me the question.
Nah, you lost your chance. Go, Phil.
Thanks a lot.
Phil, what was your big takeaway from last night's episode? Well, you said, wow, that's unbelievable. Chris, that was the question. Phil,
I
you
know,
answered.
but I had something better than
There
that.
were so many, but I'm gonna have to go to the. I think I have to go the obvious one for number one is that that the White Walkers reanimated a dragon, and now they have their own dragon, their ice dragon, weapon of mass
was sick.
destruction, so to speak.
Does he spit fire?
We've talked about
No.
that for a while. Or
Ice.
ice. I gotta think he spits ice,
Yeah.
but I gotta think it spits ice.
How do you spit ice? There's no such
Does
thing.
he spit nothing because he's dead?
It's water.
Yeah, so there's
ice
nothing.
is water. You
I
can't
know.
just spit
So he
ice.
spits
Wait,
water that
breaking
turns
news:
to
ice is water.
Spits water at people.
but spits water and
It's
then
not.
it
He's
slowly
a big water
turns
gun.
to ice
He's
as
a
it
super
gets to
soaker.
them. You know,
That's how I'm thinking.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Wait,
That's
what?
I think.
crystallizes
Yeah,
as it
exactly.
gets there.
Water
You know what I mean?
turns into ice.
Yeah.
In midair?
Yes.
It's cold.
They're zombies.
It's cold.
cold.
What
The
is the
winter.
day after tomorrow?
Well, the
Like-
winter, when the White Walkers are there, it's snowing and you know,
Come
it's
on,
a snowstorm. It's a
are
blizzard.
we going to
you know?
get into the science of this whole thing?
All right, so you think they're going to shoot ice?
water that turns into ice? Yes.
Mike, ice or fire?
Oh, definitely ice, I'm thinking. I don't
Yeah.
think...
You think fire?
It's ice versus fire. It's a song of ice and fire.
I guess it's going to shoot ice, but I just don't. I guess. I mean, people are brought back from the
seem
dead.
defeated
No,
by-
because I'm thinking to myself, it just doesn't make sense. But there's guys who died 7 times and they're
Yeah.
still living. So
Yeah,
I guess
listen.
you got to suspend disbelief a little
yeah,
bit.
exactly.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you can't. I mean, this is a show. We can't forget that's about magic. So you can't
Right.
be,
You
you can't
can't
be
be
upset when
completely
things
literal.
like this happen. Yeah.
I agree.
How awesome was the battle, though?
Yeah, it was
It's
a great
fantastic.
battle.
Before I forget, Chris,
Yeah.
say your point because I
So,
feel bad now that I
this
cut
is
you
the
off. Go
thing.
ahead.
This is the thing.
As
So,
you fixed the Nick,
even though it was
you
a
fixed
great
the Nick,
episode,
the Nick
Tony,
Letty bobblehead. Go ahead, Chris.
So, even though the episode was great, there's a lot of flaws in this episode, dude. You got to look carefully. Lots of flaws.
Let me hear it. Lay it on me. Let's
You
go.
agree?
The Baratheon bastard runs, not even on a horse, gets to the wall, gets pulled in. They send the Raven all the way down to Dragonstone. She gets her dragons all within the last 20 minutes, half hour of the show, and the dragons actually get all the way back up north of the wall. That's impossible. That's not
Can I
possible.
say one thing to combat this? And Phil probably knows what I'm going to say. It was overnight. They spent a night in the ice.
I understand that, but they're speeding things up too much.
the pacing
That's
was
the
off.
problem.
Yeah.
They're speeding up too much.
But
know?
you agree with that? Because I totally agree with it. I agree.
I mean, I
100%.
agree, but also don't forget the dragons definitely move very fast.
Yeah,
But the biggest thing with the timing is I don't know how the bastard got
Yeah.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
is he Jesse Owens or something? I don't know how he got there so fast.
And
Usain Bolt and
John knew he was the fastest too. You're the fast. He just met him. You're the fastest one
What
here.
When did you see him run?
Did he watch him?
He's been scouting him for years. John's had scouts all over Westeros.
There's another major flaw too.
He's basically saying,
Gendry's the top recruit.
you're young.
Number 1 pick.
And we know you really can't fight. Take a
Yeah,
hike.
you got your hammer, your war hammer.
He wanted to run. He wanted to
if they
run
made
with the
him leave
hammer.
it?
Yeah.
You're faster
faster
without
without
it.
it.
He is right.
He's right.
He is right.
That thing's got to weigh at least
20,
50
30
pounds or something.
50?
Yeah, that thing's got to be heavy.
Heavy,
You
I
kidding
What
me?
was your second point? Go ahead.
The chains that the White Walkers got. Where the hell did they come from? How did they have gigantic chains that they're pulling dragons out of the water with? I really want to know. I'd love to know. Somebody tell me. Somebody comment and tell me how they got the chains right now. Because I really would love to know.
I do agree. I looked past the
The
chains. but
chains
he's
are a
right about the
fantastic
chains.
point. I didn't even think about that.
How where did they get chains from?
They're
They're
very,
carrying chains around
very-
everywhere.
very resourceful. Yeah.
What the hell's going on here? Too much is going on.
I do agree. There were some flaws in the episode. I thought the episode was awesome, but
Listen,
no show's perfect. But
No show is perfect.
They overshadowed the imperfections.
I think they're definitely speeding things up. I think everybody
yeah.
who watches the show can agree with they're speeding things up.
They didn't have to though.
I mean,
knows,
there's
with
only so
budget
many
or whatever it may be,
episodes,
yeah.
budget. I know they want to do a lot of spin-offs. So they're probably
Yeah.
like, all right, let's get to the end of this already, which kind of stinks because you've had this vast field of characters. Now it's shriveled down.
Yeah.
They've done
but
such a
they
good.
spun.
Yeah.
They sped so fast.
Right.
But I'm not going to
And then
complain
there's
about
some
the
slow
show's still
episodes,
amazing.
even this season, which that's mind-boggling.
Has
a
there
little
been a
bit.
slow episode?
Well, there's a couple episodes where it's a lot of dialogue and build-up. There has been.
That doesn't mean it's slow.
I
though.
know, but you know, maybe you cut out a little bit of that stuff and put in a little more to this part where all of a sudden, you know, things are happening so fast, it's like, holy crap. Now all of a sudden the dragons are fighting the White Walkers. I had no idea that was going to happen already.
All right,
you know,
so
that was crazy.
I think my favorite episode of the whole series was season 5, episode 10. Last series,
What, when John
last
died?
season's finale.
Oh, you
no,
mean season 6 episode
season 6.
10.
I'm sorry, yeah, season 6, episode 10. When Cersei just kills everybody. I thought that was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, that was
I agree with you.
Bill, what do you think happens in the finale?
So, I mean, they even show you some clips, and it looks like it's...
Nothing. They showed nothing.
But they
It was-
show you that
yeah.
there's going to be a lot of scenes in King's Landing. So I don't know if they're going to move away now from... I don't think you're going to see... Maybe you're going to see the Ice Dragon at the end of the episode, but I think most of it is going to be... You're going to see a lot more Cersei in the last episode. I don't know. I think it's really going to focus on that. This was like the big episode Beyond the Wall, and I think they're going to wait until next season to go back to that. They might kind of like have a big finale at the end where they show that like maybe they're coming, like they're here,
Yeah.
Over the wall?
they're over the wall.
I think that's
don't-
all they'll get. Yeah,
I don't
agree.
think this episode's going to have a lot more Beyond the
It's going to
Wall.
be more dialogue.
So, well,
Yeah.
no, but it is going to be. I think, especially this season showed you that you're probably going to see a big time episode where I'm counting on somebody big dying on this next episode for sure.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt.
Any predictions? Who do you think?
I
Who do you
agree.
think's going? Hold on.
I
Before
think Littlefinger.
goes this
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of quick. Do you think the Hound fights the Mountain this episode? Because they're going to be there together, and you know it's coming at some point.
I think it,
Go ahead.
I think it might actually. I'm leaning towards yes. It might actually happen this episode.
That'd be sick. I've been
I
waiting for
think
that
it
for
might
such a
happen
long
this
time.
episode. I don't. I'm not definitive with it, but I think so.
How
And
do
I
you,
do agree with Mike about Littlefinger.
do you think Brienne of Tarth gets by Cersei? No. Or you think Jamie's like, nah, that's my girl?
No, I think he's gonna. She's gonna
Jamie's
end up,
girl.
She's gonna end up with
Tormund's
Tormund.
girl.
at the
Yeah,
end.
Tormund's girl.
How awesome is Tormund?
Tormund's the best character in the show.
I
Can I
thought
say-
him or Dunbarron was going to die or whatever his name is.
Can I?
But the Thorolsamir ended up
My
passing.
biggest pet peeve with what I didn't like about the episode yesterday was Benjen. To be honest, I thought
Came out
that
of
was
nowhere.
way too.
He's half dead.
I
though.
just didn't think. I know, but I just didn't think. I didn't think they needed to create that drama with John. We knew John wasn't going to die.
Correct.
So it was kind of this. It was kind of just like, let's get some false drama. Let's throw Benjen in there because we don't have enough time. It has time. We don't have enough time to end his storyline. So let's just have him save John in 2 seconds. Say there's not enough time to get on the horse when there clearly was enough time for him to just jump on the horse.
I think the whole thing with
he
Snow,
sacrificed himself. I know.
but I think he really did it. You even see he locks eyes with Khaleesi, and then he goes back and he tries to be heroic. I think it was kind of
John, yeah.
it was kind of like a play on that, like showing that he's
Okay,
really
yeah.
interested in proving himself to
Well, that I agree.
right. And I think that it kind of increased the tension, but it led to that last scene when he's in bed and
Okay, so maybe
showed him more of a hero, and I think that's what he was trying.
So
to,
I guess
to
maybe
show.
my big because you're right about that. So I'll take that part about John's drama back. But I did think the Benjen was too short. That's all. It was way too short. He showed up.
The
Out
dude,
of nowhere,
the
yeah.
dude
Put him on the
always
horse.
the dude always shows up out of nowhere,
Perfect
saves somebody.
timing,
But you know, when
bounces.
he saved Bran, there was a lot more to it. You know.
So I'm sorry. I want to get to some of our viewers. So Katie Hauschka says that she thinks that Cersei and Grey Worm are going down, and I know Grey Worm's a big fan by Marianne's big fan of Grey Worm. I think he's going to go too.
Yeah, I could see it. Listen,
Yeah,
he had
I
his
can see
big
that.
love scene or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be a little heartbreak.
He's
Like
not
I think he
giving-
goes. I
he's
think
not
he goes.
giving
He's not
I
that big of
agree,
a
but I don't
character.
agree. I don't agree with Cersei. I actually think I was saying this before. I think that this season ends that at the end you'll see the walkers getting past the wall. That's all they'll show. And I think Cersei in some way gets a leg up on everybody in this episode. She's got some
I feel
crap
like she
going.
always gets a leg up.
And she's
It's
going to
gonna
get a
end
leg
at
up
some point.
Yes, and I think it ends next season. I think this season's going to end with her to leg up, and then eventually next season she's going to lose it. That's my prediction.
I don't care if she wants sees White Walkers or not. She
She's
still
not going
wants
to care
the
about
throne.
that. Yeah, she's not
Yeah.
going to care about the White Walkers.
She'll be like, I want to do this, then we'll worry about
that
it.
She'd
might
rather die the queen by the White Walkers than give up the queen and stay alive.
That might happen after, though. I think what they're doing now is rushing it to get to the point where let's have the war versus the White Walkers first, and then that war might be over by episode 2 next season, and then the rest of the season might be just who's going to take what seats on the thrones in the north and here and there, whatever. It's going to be deciphering who runs the kingdom, and that's when Cersei and Daenerys battle or whatever comes into play. Them coming against each other.
Do Cersei, do Daenerys and Jon hook up?
I mean, that's what. So it's kind of like this weird, like you kind of want them to, but you know that it's wrong because they're niece and nephew. But it's like it does pose an issue. I mean,
why?
Well, because
What do
their
you mean, why?
blood.
Targaryens have been together with each other for centuries.
Doesn't mean it's right.
Right, but don't forget,
And he's only half.
but don't forget, we're living in 2017, and it's just kind of weird still. It definitely is still a part of it that's weird, and they're going to find out that they're related. You have to assume that that's going to happen.
But I mean, I don't know what Bran's waiting for.
Well, he hasn't seen Jon yet.
And the only
Yeah,
question,
but he can like see things and do this, and he can't just be like, "Yo, you're not who you
He
are."
went like this, like, they have
he's
a cell
calling.
phone.
Yo,
Yo, Jon.
so if
I mean, there's ravens flying around left and right.
Yeah, what is Bran doing? That's another thing, though. That's another flaw. What's Bran doing this whole time? He's sitting there by the tree, like twiddling his thumbs. Everybody's dying over here. They're stuck on ice cubes, surrounded by White Walkers, and Bran's just sitting there by the tree. He sees everything. Yet he doesn't do anything. Just sits there by the tree the whole time.
And he looks miserable.
And he's just a creep.
He's
too.
morbid.
He's a creep. The only thing he told Sansa was, "You looked great when you got raped." It's like, what? Why didn't you tell me anything else? You could have picked anything else to
I don't
tell me.
understand his purpose right now. I thought he could see everything. He should be able to help people if he sees these things.
I don't think Jon and Dany get together.
I think it'll be like a Star Wars.
I know.
I think it'll be like a Luke Leia.
One of
thing.
our viewers thinks that they definitely do, and I think that's the theme. But I think at some point it's like I think everybody's kind of expecting that. I think it's just going to turn
Expecting
somehow
what?
that they're going to hook up, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. It feels too easy at this point. You know,
It looks like it's going
yeah,
to
it
happen.
looks
people,
too
people
easy.
have been saying it from the beginning. That's how it's going to
I know.
happen.
It's a song of ice and fire. Yada yada
Are they
yada.
There's got to
go
be
that
some
route?
twist, though. There's got to be
Exactly.
a
Yada
major
yada yada.
twist.
Exactly.
What?
Song of Fire and Ice. Yada yada yada. What does yada 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 mean?
It just means we
go-
get it.
we
Yeah,
get it.
it's
Oh,
so
that's
obvious.
why-
though.
That's why you need a
Seinfeld.
major twist.
I mean anything. Oh,
To mean
good.
anything.
In
Skipped over the good
Seinfeld,
part.
yeah,
Yeah.
we slipped over the good part. Yeah.
No, but
I mentioned the bisque.
they got to throw a major twist. Otherwise, it's just going to be. We know it's coming. We know what's happening. If they don't throw a major twist, then it's almost like
I hear you.
know.
Well, next week we have
Might spend 45 minutes on it.
something to look forward to. Something to look
We
forward
might spend
to.
45
obviously.
minutes on Monday. Game of Thrones season.
So, moving on to our question of the night. Preseason football. Do you think the preseason is too long, or do you think that it works kind of the way it is? Personally, I think the preseason's a waste. Somebody gets hurt left and right.
Yeah.
Extend the season 2 more games, make the fans happy. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I mean, in a way, I don't like it. Yeah, I agree with you. But people get hurt in the off season. People get hurt training. People get hurt doing the dumbest things. Madison Bumgarner got hurt on his bike, and who fell down the steps.
Yeah,
who's
but
playing
what's-
Guitar Hero, hurting themselves.
What's more likely, getting creamed in a football game or falling down the steps?
I know, but you need preseason because you need to create your roster. It's a 52-man roster. You have
53.
to, whatever it is. You got to cut that down, and you got to see what works for you. You need your third string guys. It's very important because people get hurt. You need to see who's going to be your guys. It's important.
I'm not
but
saying-
you should cut it down a little bit. Maybe cut it 1 game.
It's 4 games. Phil,
Yeah,
do you
it should
think
be 3.
it's 4 games now? You think it should be 3?
I think they should cut it down because, one, they don't even the starters play 2 at tops,
Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They play.
That's
They
what I
don't
mean.
play the first typically.
play 2
They
and
never
3.
play the fourth.
and they play 2 and 3. They play 2. Also, I'm okay with 2 preseason games. I wouldn't eradicate preseason games because
No,
I
you
think
can't eradicate it.
I would be okay with 2 because bad injuries. Look at Beckham. Just happened before. He almost.
We
if
don't know
he's-
what's going on.
If he's
Johnny,
injured,
can we get an update on that?
if he's
possibly?
injured,
He walked
forget
up
it.
for X-rays. I didn't see anything beyond that.
If he's injured, I'll never want a preseason
thank
game
you.
again.
Yeah.
Remember Mike Vick got hurt the year after he had that
Yeah,
great
that-
year, got hurt in preseason? Oh,
I mean, there's a
think
lot
it could
of
be
injuries.
shortened. You know,
That's
and I wouldn't even add it to the regular season. Why do you need 18 regular season
Why?
games?
Do you not like football?
So you're
Sunday?
I do.
Why not
but-
have some more games?
I do, but you're telling me that if this whole thing with player safety, they're going to turn around and add 2 more regular season games?
Does it
They're
make
not
money?
Gonna do it. They're not going to do it.
Does it
I don't
make
think they're going to do it. Of course, it makes money, but that's right. They're going to make money no matter what.
So Beckham left the game. Thanks, Donnie. Beckham left the game with an ankle sprain.
If it's ankle, don't worry about it. It looked like
Ankle's all right. I
Well,
thought
high
it-
ankle sprain could be a
Yeah, but it
little
could have
while.
been his knee.
Phil, what's the difference between a high ankle and an ankle sprain? High ankle isn't really ankle, right? It's more up.
It comes up a little bit, and you get a little in the joint. You get a little separation in the tibia and the fibula, and the tibia and the fibula and the talar make a mortise joint. And when you have
You lost me, man.
Yeah, you lost me.
so the talar is the bone.
No, that didn't mean keep going.
I got it. Real quick. The tib fib is the two bones on your lower leg.
I knew that.
The talar bone is like the ball that starts the ankle joint. It's a three.
So it's above the ankle.
Yeah,
it's above the ball in the ankle.
Exactly. It's above the
That's all you
ball
have
in
to
the
say.
ankle. Yeah.
Takes longer to
And
heal.
the high ankle sprain, there's a little separation there. I'll just leave it
All
at
right.
that then.
So
Just
we'll-
cut me off. Jeez.
I'm trying to keep it.
Giants playing the Browns right now.
Yeah, and they're getting dominated.
just
The
talking
offensive line looked terrible.
The offense didn't look good. Yeah.
All right, so Mike, being that we all agreed it should be short, why do you think there are 4 games? Do you think that coaches like it? Do you think that players like it? What do you think?
I got to think some coaches do like it. You got to remember that football rosters are extremely large, and
Right.
if they were to shorten it to 2 games, I don't think you'd see starters play a lot more. I think it would be very similar. You would just see, because they want to see what they have out of their roster.
Yeah.
They want to see everybody play. So you'd see that actually less of the starting. It's not like it would be more. They'd probably play less in those last 2 games than they do now because they want to see that the rest of their roster.
Yeah.
So I don't think, no matter what, it's garbage. I mean, it's crap. I honestly
necessary
have
crap.
never watched a full preseason game, and I never will.
Yeah, me neither.
And I can't believe people go and watch these.
Well,
things.
the reason
never
they
watched the
go,
full one.
the reason
I
they
watched
go is because your season tickets. You have to pay for the 2 preseason games. You have to pay for 10 games.
I'm not going anyway. If I get
What's
it.
worse, people play FanDuel DraftKings preseason football.
You got
That's
to.
impossible.
You got to have a little bit of degeneracy.
You
in
have to be a
Donnie,
I mean, that's bad.
go ahead, Donnie. I know
Well,
you're a season ticket jet holder. Is that true?
Well, no, my brother is. First of all, that's disgusting that people play preseason on
Yeah,
DraftKings.
it's bad.
Yeah, it's the same exact price as the regular season, which makes it far worse because the games are
God.
infinitely more terrible.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's all backups.
do
Except
they-
for week 3.
Do they give you like an open bar with it if you come, like, and show up? Like, how does that
No, they
work?
don't.
Should give you a medal for showing up.
They should. They should. It's pathetic. Who wants to go see the 4th string running backs? I mean, I wouldn't. I guess maybe there's football people out there.
The
like
third
it, but-
preseason game
The
is
third
always
one,
the
yeah.
one where they play like almost 3/4 of the game, a lot of the starters. That's the game that actually has some meaning because you're going to see the starters for most of the time. But otherwise, all the other games really don't matter.
Look, I think if they shorten the preseason, you're going to hear a lot of complaints from coaches that they didn't have enough time to get their players up to speed and all that stuff.
But it-
Especially because they don't practice as much. They don't do 2 days.
Right, but
anymore.
everybody's in the same boat. All right, so we're going to complain that we didn't have enough time, but every other team doesn't have enough time too. You just got to figure it out.
But here, remember a couple years ago, or really last year, there was the complaint that games were like lesser quality because they weren't practicing as much, and it took them longer.
They
to
don't
get into
hit,
the
they don't
swing.
tackle, right.
So that argument is just going to come into play more if the preseason gets started.
Right, think about it.
Gets shown for 2 games.
I mean, preseason in baseball is ridiculously long too. But imagine if you cut it in half. You're going to see April baseball be considerably worse. The quality of baseball because hitters have less time to
September
get up
might
to
be
speed.
worse if preseason games go down.
It affects the whole season if you shorten.
Well, baseball, I think, is a different animal only because you have to get the pitchers up to their pitch count. You need a month
The hitters, yeah, they
to get to that point. Hitters, you need some time too, but I think that can be
Less time.
that can be done quicker, getting your timing down than a pitcher ramping up to 100 pitches. And let's be honest, no pitcher throws over 100 pitches in April.
Yeah.
Not even close. You know, in terms of the NFL, I mean, it's a little bit different because there's really no pitch count. Like I feel like guys,
but there's timing.
yeah, with route, 100%. You want to get on the same page. You want to learn your playbook, but I feel like a lot of that can be done in practice. I'm just thinking from a pure fan's point of view. I'd rather see more regular season games, but I do see how it's necessary.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
The whole problem is this, and more practice. It's just a team practice. You're not going to be able to see how you stack up. You're running plays against other teams that don't know which play is coming. That's very important. You can't just replace these exhibition games with practice.
But they don't play enough.
But they're still
their
testing
starters
out
don't
their,
play.
Right, but they're still working on their playbook. They're seeing how different sets look. That's important, and that's if you get rid of that, then everything is going to suffer, I think, if you get rid of that. I don't know. The bottom line is I'm not mad that there's 4 games in the preseason. I'm mad that people actually give a crap and watch it.
I'm mad that they have daily
FanDuel.
sports
And
fan
bet
league.
Yeah.
And, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I just don't care about
I'm
it.
going to end with this, and Chris, I'll ask you: do you think anybody gets hurt, big injury
Between now and
during a preseason game? Happened Jordy Nelson 2 years ago? Was that last year? No, 2 years ago.
2 years
That
ago.
might have
2 years
been
ago.
practice, though.
No, that was
the
like
That was
that was
preseason?
very close to
I
before
thought
the
it was
season.
practice.
Do you think there's another big injury?
I think I mean I don't know how big, but somebody's going to get hurt. Multiple guys are going to get hurt. It happens. It's going to happen, especially week 3 when
Week 3 when
starters are
all the
playing.
starters play.
Yeah, someone's getting hurt.
All right.
Definitely.
On that note, thank you for joining us again for Bridgeside Sports Live. Join us tomorrow. We have I Am Kirby on Bridgeside Live. It's our music show every Tuesday. Donnie, anything to add? Great job down there.
Nope, we're good.
Good to go. All right. So
Good talk.
for Donnie, Chris, Phil, and Mike, I am Win, and we hope to see you next week.